You probably will. Welcome.
Hey, y'all still doing the feral lady thing where it comes up and then does it have a
it goes
roar on there?
Yeah, that would have just happened like 9 seconds ago.
Can we do my roar?
Go ahead. We're 17
Can Jeremy
seconds
do like
into
my
recording.
own roar?
Nick, welcome.
Yeah,
like dub your roar over it for the.
Yeah. We can do it later when he's recording.
You gotta audition now, though.
Yeah,
you gotta audition.
No, I'm gonna do a stupid one. It's gonna be like, rawr.
Oh, done. Change of crew. Yeah, we can do that.
Yes.
So hopefully, folks, because we're 40 seconds in, hopefully you just heard that roar on the intro. And if you didn't, at least you got to enjoy it right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Nick sending my husband rawr sounds.
Just voice
the right one. Yeah, that's it. Just a note. In fact,
not weird at all. It's fine.
Yeah, do that with no context. Just start sending those to him after the show before I can tell him.
It's a bromance thing. It's fine.
Really cool.
I feel like Jeremy will just be like, "Yeah, this checks out. I don't know the context."
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's Nick. Okay, I get
Completely
it.
unfazed.
Yeah.
At this point, if I say anything at all to my husband, I'm like, "Oh, Nick said this," and he's like, "Yep, that is explanation enough now."
Yeah.
Remind me to
No
come
further
back
questions.
to that.
Please continue.
When we're not recording, Melissa, because your husband sent me some weird ass texts, and I was like, and I thought it was funny, but then there was no follow up, and I was like, I have no context for this. And
he apparently texted me last night, and I was already like gone, and I woke up today to see text from Dan. I'm like, what the hell?
He does his own schedule.
There was some party people. Welcome to Feral Ladies Internet.
Hi, everybody.
This is how we are.
Let's go.
On screen.
I feel like you know what you're getting now, though,
No.
right? Like at this point in the game, y'all in internet land, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, you're
welcome.
At this point, it's consensual.
Yeah.
Okay, not touching that one. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
Consent is important, and we love it.
Yeah.
Let's introduce our guest. Should we all like introduce him a little and then let him introduce himself?
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. So we are gathered here today with Nick Steverson, who, though, yes, I have several younger brothers by blood and by marriage. This motherfucker is
223.
Yeah. Didn't get it right. But is Hundo P, my little brother. Hundo P in every way, every attitude and approach. Nick Steverson, my little brother, Feral Menace, gathered with us today.
Feral Menace, yeah.
That's my part of the intro. Go for it.
Melissa, you're next.
Nick is not my little brother. He is my best friend. He is my evil twin. He is the person that people in public go, wow, he's so mean. And Melissa, you're so nice. And I'm just cackling because really, Nick is very nice and I am very much not.
Nick's your foil.
Nice.
Yeah, he's your character foil.
Nice.
In some ways, I feel like I know Nick the least out of the three of us. But I also have a very little brother view of Nick. Very similar actually to how I feel for my actual little brother, who like Nick is much bigger, much stronger, could totally kick my ass. But I have them both believing that that's not the case. So I'm clinging to that with all that I have.
Yeah. Big sister energy. Full on.
That's right. I kicked your ass when we were 6 and I could probably still do it.
Yeah. I totally on purpose, when my little brothers were well into their teenagerness, I was in college and I invited them to my blue belt test, I think, because they were starting to realize that they could absolutely kick my ass. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And so they came to my test, and at the end of that, they were like, love you. Just no poke. So we also are having Nick join us today, not just because he is our little brother or evil twin or whatever, but also because he's a pretty kick-ass writer in his own right. Yeah. So Nick, do you want to introduce yourself, I guess?
Apparently I'm the Menace.
You are.
Yeah.
Feral Menace.
100%.
But you're our Menace.
You know, as they said, and it says on my little I don't like these cameras. That thing, the name right there.
That's
All right, sci-fi and all that stuff, and try to create chaos with these ladies when I get the chance. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Do you
I'm not
create?
good for introducing myself because it's difficult.
I'm just wondering, do you create chaos or do you embody chaos?
Both.
Two things can be true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Why choose?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
choose?
Why choose?
Yeah.
It's very
Why
fun.
choose? So let me kick this off by saying that Nick Steverson is one of the people that when I need to write an action scene or I need to write a dude, not just a male character, but like a dude, right? Like, you know, I go to Nick and I'm like, hey Nick, help me out, make this feel correct, right? Nick's his action scenes have he just sort of has a natural like flow with being able to to throw. I guess I don't know. I guess he just spent a lot of time thinking about hitting people because
I do think of them as cinematic, if you will.
Yeah, right. Nick is very good at writing the cinematic action scenes, and so we worked together on. So we did a braided story together that was with both Nick and Melissa. That's in. Hold on, as I fall out of my chair. Dances with Destruction, which is right behind me there. There you go. And that had some great action sequences in it where I remember reaching out to Nick repeatedly and being like, okay, help me work this out, help me make this fit. But then we also did Nick and I co-wrote a story. Sorry, now I have hiccups. Of course I do, because I'm on the internet. Nick and I co-wrote a story for an upcoming anthology edited by Jamie Ibsen. I think it's called Plausibly Deniable is the working title of the anthology.
I think it's Plausibly Deniable.
Yeah. And we had some super fun action sequences in that one too. And so I'm curious, Nick, other than thinking about hitting people a lot, where does this like facility with fight scenes come from for you?
So I did fight a lot growing up. Clearly, I mean, it's just I grew up in Bonifay, Holmes County, backwoods, public school, all that thing. So I got in a lot of fights growing up. My cousins, we'd fight for fun. Go to school, we'd get in fight. But my uncle Brian was the ATA Taekwondo world champion in 99 or 98. It might have been both. I know he was running up a bunch of times, but he actually won. So I watched him fight a lot. I talked to him. He's special forces in the Army. My dad was in the Army. My dad boxed. In the Army. My grandpa was a badass. Like, I don't know. I just pick a lot of stuff up because I picked their brains growing up when I was, and experience. And then I watched a lot of movies growing up. Like, all I watched was action flicks, Predator, Aliens, freaking, just all of them, the Rocky movies, just everything. I was very much into anything violent. I was into, and so now when I write, like all these scenes like that I want to write, they flash through my head, right? And it's like you were saying, it's a cinema. I try to write the way you would want to see it on screen, so that when you're reading it, the pictures flash by in your head, and that's what I try to encapsulate. Like, not so much the technique, but the visual.
That's cool. That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, and I would add that the technique is also very much there because Nick's action scenes are very visceral and it's not vague. Like, Nick tells you exactly what's happening and lets you visualize it, not just from the cinematic perspective, but from like a fighting perspective. Like, everything I have learned about writing action scenes and specifically hand-to-hand combat scenes, I learned from working with Nick. Like, he is freaking amazing at it. He's also really good at making people cry. I would also like in a, oh my God, you just ripped my heart out kind of way. So anytime he downplays himself, just ignore him. He's dumb. He's incredibly good at what he does. He's just dumb about
nothing but honest.
I mean, I love it. He's dumb because he's really smart at this. So there you go. No, I love it. I just love it.
There's that twin energy. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome. What is your favorite, like, Do you have a favorite move that you like to put in to your action scenes, or do you have a favorite scene that you're like, this is the epitome of a Nick Steverson fight scene?
It's hard to do, right? So it's not necessarily a certain move, but I like straight up fist fights, right? I like when our hero and our protagonist like actually meet face to face and like there's that final showdown. Yeah. I heard two little children's that I know.
Melissa's just like, and mute.
But I like grappling. I like neck snapping. I like arm bars. I like, I do like to get technical, right? So because there's certain readers that like that. They like to see a fight that they're like, okay, this is plausible. Like I can do this with my neighbor. You know what I mean? Like he gets drunk and rowdy, comes over here, starts and go at it. But at the same time, you want it. I'm very over the top. Like I like to do those just OP scenes where it's just like, like you're watching anime. I love that kind of feeling in a fight scene.
That's that cinematic.
Maybe that's right? Me, like just the over the top, like the Gortal and Dakal fight at the end of Consequences.
Nice,
that, you know what I mean? I like that final conflict.
That's fun. I will just say quickly, so they mentioned their related stories in Dancing with Destruction, whatever verb tense we're going with. And the number of times those stories are popping up on people's favorite list is real high. So when people are talking about the anthology, they're like, this is the action. This is the military science fiction action I was looking for over and over. And it's partly those action scenes. It's the interaction between the characters and, the continuation of being able to see these confrontations from various points of view, which is pretty cool.
I thought it was cool on the Bane hour. Was it the Bane free hour? Is that what it's called?
Free radio hour, yeah.
Yeah, the free radio hour, where Jeremy said that he could tell where I wrote and where Melissa wrote, and then clearly he knew Kacey wrote the whole other story. But I thought that was interesting because we wrote that story that way on purpose.
Yeah.
Because we had the Callahan, and then we had
Moretti.
Moretti.
And then Noah,
Shut up, Moretti.
and when we talked about it, we're like, no, we're not blending these. We got to keep them separate because they're separate personality. Like it's not, and I thought that was cool that he was able to pick that out, even though we did it on purpose. But I'm glad it worked.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
awesome. I thought it worked really well, actually. Because it was fun for me so our stories are braided together, but mine comes next, right? Like yours chronologically starts before mine, and then mine comes next. And my point of view character is a completely different one. I don't even remember what her name is, unfortunately, because I suck at that. But sorry, guys.
Enoa,
but
I think it's Enoa.
Enoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Enoa. That's right, Enoa. And so it was really fun for me to read your story and then come in with my character's voice, informed by the relationships between her and Melissa's character of Callahan. They were like, we touched on it a little bit, and had this been a novel, we would have like gone deeper into it, I think. But one of my favorite things about those two stories is the relationship between Callahan and Enoa, because they're female officers in a high stress combat environment, and you don't see a lot of exploration of the whole sisters in arms relationship, but that was really fun, and to explore even in the limited way that we were able to do that. And part of the way that we were able to do that was it in relation to their interactions with some of the other troops, particularly Moretti, who was another sort of point of view character. So that, I don't know if that made any sense, but their interactions with Moretti set off their interactions with each other is what I was trying to say.
I'm just cracking up because Moretti was like, he was exactly what you would expect if Nick Steverson was an E4, right? Like, he is exactly.
Yeah, there was more than a little bit of self-insert going on there.
But it works.
Which is fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it works really well, as long as it works for the story, and in this case, it did.
It's like if I were a badass in armor with a gun and a raiders on a whole other planet and had already been busted down from Sergeant like 6 times, how would okay, I know I got this.
I know who this guy is. I know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Funny.
No, that was a lot of fun. Oh fuck. I had a question. Sorry.
Hey, that's our first, I think, unedited fuck. So good job.
Nice.
Oh, thanks. Hooray.
Jeremy, I would
right
like
at
to
15
request
minutes.
that you anytime I said fuck, please just put moo over it for reasons.
Oh my God. Please don't. Please don't. I will end up peeing myself in the chat. It's going to be a problem. I mean, at least I won't be on camera, but.
You'll see what Jolie got me.
Hear that? Nice.
Yep. That seems appropriate. That seems appropriate.
That is really good.
So.
Oh, she's so great.
Nick, let's talk. So we've mentioned that you have worked with us. Tell us about your experience co-writing. Like, what is it like to co-write with so many different people?
It's always different.
Yeah.
Melissa and I joke around that we share one brain cell between the two of us.
Just bounces.
But honestly, when we were writing the Hyena books, and anytime we've done a short story together, like it's very easy because it seems like we're already headed in the same direction as the other without discussing it. Because like I'll like send her a text, hey, we should do this with so and so. She'd be like, oh yeah, I already thought of that. I'm already got it in the chaotic notes.
Yeah,
we're good there. And I'm like, oh, and at this point, it doesn't even surprise me. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And when I co-wrote with Jason, it was more like, hey, I want to write this scene. What scene do you want to write? And I'm like, I want to write this scene. Okay. And then he'll write his scene and I'll write my scene. And then we'll write all the scenes we want to write individually. And then we go back and we bridge it all together. And then we do all the blending. Right. So that's very different than what me and Melissa do, because Melissa will write 2,000 words. I'll go back and blend into her 2,000 words, write another 2,000 words, and then she'll come back and repeat the process.
Yeah.
I listened to the Salvage Treasure series 2 weeks ago. I can't tell who wrote what, and we wrote the books.
I love that. Yeah.
I honestly don't. I don't. At this point, I don't know who wrote what. I really don't. That's how blended those books are.
Yeah, and we wrote those super fast too. Like we wrote them back to back to back. We didn't have any other projects in between, so it was really easy to keep those voices and that flow steady throughout the process.
Yeah.
I think it was on a little over 400,000 words in 6 months.
Oh dang! Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Plus the editing and all that stuff. Yeah, crazy. And then writing with girl Kacey was more. I call her girl Kacey because that's what
everyone does.
Because we know boy Kacey. Yeah,
because we know boy Kacey.
It's just what I'm used to. I know there are other Kacey's not here.
Kacey Moore is one of my other co-authors who is awesome.
There you
go.
Awesome.
We like him.
Yeah, no, I love Moops. He's great. Who also makes his appearances in Salvage Treasure.
Oops.
And then writing with Kacey was more of a plotting thing. So like we would discuss everything that was going to happen, and then whoever's turn it was to write would go write that section, right?
Yeah,
and you just kind of go back and forth.
And that worked in part, I think, because we broke it up by character point of view, right? So, I won't spoil the actual title, but while we were working on it, the file title for our story was Fed Guy Mob Girl, or no, Fed Girl Mob Guy.
Yeah, I was like,
Fed Girl Mob Guy. And so Nick would write the Mob Guy scenes, and I would write the Fed Girl scenes, from their points of view, which was a really fun way to do that sort of like dual point of view, two different perspectives on the same sequence of events.
Yeah, it's a really fun story.
It really was.
I really like that story. It was a lot of fun to write with you, Nick. And we wrote that one pretty fast too.
Yeah, I think we knocked it out in a month?
Less than that. It was a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't long. We didn't have much time to do it, so
no. No, we were like, okay.
Weird how
I got the quintessential Kacey message. Hey.
Yeah. Well, because I had finished. I was trying to fit it in between. Finishing. Yep, that's what she said. I'm trying to squeeze it in there. But between Shadow Card Guardian and starting Blood on the Sand, which is Mage Light Book 2. And so I was like, I got 3 weeks. You want to do this? And it was super fun.
I remember sitting there. Shush, Nick. It's my turn to talk. I remember sitting in a hotel room at Boscone in February, whereas Nick's like, I don't think I remember how words work. Like, Jesus fuck, what the hell am I doing? And then there's girl Kacey sitting on the hotel bed going, you guys, I have to, can I read this out loud to you? It's what Nick just wrote. And he read it. She read it. And I'm like, almost crying, going, oh my God, this is so good.
Super good. Yeah.
And then investors like, you motherfucker, shut up.
It was really good.
Yeah.
The only one I haven't written with is Marisa, but we edited an anthology together.
We did. Yeah. We still worked together.
And we worked really well together on that. And without her, that would not have gone as smooth as it did. Holy shit, has she got a system down pat. It's awesome. Everything from keeping their emails to their word count to how we pay, they got paid, or whatever. It was fuck, you're organized. How? Teach me.
Corporate Marisa.
Marisa.
I would not have survived doing that without her.
It's two things though. It's one, I am not an organized person by nature, so I have to put that on the
You've developed skills.
Coping mechanisms, we'll say, I think.
Tomato.
Yeah, tomato, really. And then the two, I got it from Superstars. So Superstars Writing Seminar that I've gone to a couple times. There was this awesome lady who, she's a publisher and she regularly edits anthologies. And she's like, if anybody wants this spreadsheet, and I think we were working on negotiation. No, It might have been right before we started the horror, Nick. This might have been the first time I used it. All of that is lies. It was Valkyries. Okay, we're back. It was when I was doing the Valkyries anthology. I'm done lying. Because Kacey and I did negotiation, and that went pretty well. But that's because Kacey is ferociously organized. And I was just like, oh, did we get a story? Oh, did I read it? I don't know. Blah. And I was like, I need to be better at this. One, when it's just my own brain, which we'll come back to in a second. And two, I love doing anthologies. I love people's short stories. I love getting to work with all these authors. And it was chaos. And to do it by myself with Valkyries, I was like, this spreadsheet is amazing. And so then when Nick and I were doing the horror anthology, I was like, do you want to use my spreadsheet? He's like, fuck yeah, I do. Get the shit out of here.
I was doing all the help.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's such a good spreadsheet. Okay, so here's the thing. So I also have co-authored, people may know, a couple times with Kacey. And then once on a short story with Melissa, and then with the anthology with Nick. It is hard for me to go from co-authoring to authoring. Because as people have perhaps heard on this channel, I get real excited. I also like to share a brain cell, but I really love that energy and that excitement when you're really vibing with your co-author of oh my God, do you want to do this? Oh my God, what if we did this? Oh my God, what if I love that so much. And then I have to switch and be in my own brain. And there's lots of voices in there. Sure, but it's not the same. What do you guys, everybody, we can talk about this, but what do you find are the trade-offs of going back and forth between co-authoring and not? Because we've all done it.
Ooh, Nick should start.
So I'm actually kind of dealing with that right now. Me and Melissa had this talk a few days ago. I wrote 3 novels with her, 2 novels with Jason, and 5 short stories with a co-author. In between Consequences, which was my last solo novel, and Heads Will Roll, which is I'm literally on my screen right now that I'm working on right now for the 4HU. And the shift from two heads are better than one to just my sucky one.
I know, just my one head.
It's hard, right? So I don't have that cheerleader next to me the whole time getting me hyped for the next scene that I have to write. It's all me. And I'm having to find that motivation that I had when I did my original books by myself, right? That it's different. I have to figure out, and it's been tough. I've been working on this book for 4 years, but it's harder to get back into an old project by yourself after co-writing 5 novels with other people.
Mhm.
Right? So now it's like, oh shit, do I actually remember how to do this on my own? I don't have somebody holding my hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yes, I know what I'm doing, but it's the motivation part, I think.
Yeah. I think for me, yes, I also deal with this. Because just like Marisa said, it is such, when we wrote Blood of Her Father, that was like the pinnacle of so much fun in, trading scenes back and forth and like co-writing scenes in real time, Pern fanfic style, which I think we've explained elsewhere on this channel. It is hard to get back into just your own head. The thing that I have found that makes me excited for going for getting back into a solo project is I want to find out what happens. Like, I know what's going to happen because I'm a plotter and I have it outlined out, but I want to experience it with the characters, because I write from a pretty close point of view with my characters. And I try to always make my fiction very immersive and very visceral. And so I want to experience those events through my characters as I'm writing them. And that becomes the motivation for me of like, oh, let me get back into Aelis's head. Let me get back into, Vil and Dane and Romic's head. Let me get back into Danny and Jake's head and go, heads, and go see what it's like to do these card tournaments in the big arena. That is what drives me back to the solo projects, right? Is the story. If I can get excited about the story and discovering the story, but it takes time and it is a transition.
Yeah. Go ahead, Melissa. I can remute. I just had a moment between all of. She's now lied down. You know what? I said go ahead, but I lied. I'm gonna go. So thank you. I love you.
Liar.
So internal motivation was not enough for me after Blood of Her Father. Because it was so much fun. Like Nick, I said the same thing. I was like, I want to go back to my stupid brain. I can't just wake up and there's 3,000 new words in my story when it's just my brain. That's bullshit. I hate this.
Where the fuck are the words?
Where are the extra words? I went to bed. I woke up. There should be more words. What the hell?
The word fairy did not deliver.
Rude.
Like if it's one of those days where I just like don't word very well, then there's just not going to be words. Where like when Kacey and I were writing Blood of Her Father, there were a couple of times that one or the other of us just had like a absolutely no word day, and the other one was like, "Fuck yeah, I got you," and there'd be like 3,000 to 5,000 words, and man, is that motivating the next day. So for me, it was, and this will I think vary for people, but I am at heart an extrovert, though I have become more introverted over the years. And so I think I still needed a second brain. And so that was where Discord came in clutch, and doing the writing sprints and just the like insanity. Like, we're not so good at it right now. Right now, if Melissa and I are on video, we're probably talking. We try, but we were real focused because part 2 of how Marisa gets shit done in her own brain is crazy deadlines. So crazy deadlines and somebody else on Discord just being like, you know what, I'm here too for crazy deadlines. Let's fucking go. And then we would just be like quiet for long hours and say, yes, Kacey.
I think you're missing an essential component of how Marisa gets shit done.
Is it the Kacey saying?
Oh, it doesn't have to be me, but it's someone's got to poke at your Boston native competitiveness and be like, I bet you can't do this.
Yeah. It's a very small group of people who can do that, though, because if the wrong person is like, I bet you can't do that, I'm like, maybe, fuck you.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself. I know what I can do. No, that's fair. That's fair.
The fuck I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spite is real.
But yeah, a challenge is the other piece of it.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't I'm excited about the story, but my brain is also the kind of brain that once I tell myself the story, my brain's like, okay, we did it.
We're done.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the
story is. But you're a pantser though, aren't you?
Mostly, yeah. So I do not enjoy the term plantser. Like it is the wrong kind of itch at the back of my brain. But also that is what it is. Like I need to have a general plan. I almost always know how my book ends. It's the path along the way where my character's like, you thought. And we go other places. But I guess that's also the big difference, right? Like when I co-write, we're usually pretty planned out what we're going to do to make it easier to co-write. And then when it's just my brain, we're semi-planned out with what we're going to do. And then I tell myself the story and my brain's like, cool, done.
Right.
Next.
You're like, but no, it's not done.
It's not done.
Wait, there's more.
There's more work. There's more you have to
we actually have to write the scene. It's not enough to like, we know how it like, my brain started doing that lately, especially with short stories. I'm like, oh, there's no pressure. I know what happens. Yeah, but everybody else needs to know what happens too. You got to actually write it down.
Yeah.
So I'm not really like a plotter, and I prefer chaotic pantser or chaotic note taker. I don't know, but I'm somewhere between. I really don't like plantser either. It's really dumb, but I'm definitely in between those things. And when I'm co-writing, there is a little bit more plotting. And again, every co-author is different. Nick and I were much more chaotic. We would literally move the story just so we could have some dialogue in there that we texted back and forth to each other. Kacey Moores and I, we had a plan. We followed the plan, and I got to like jump around with different characters. It was super fun. Jason and I, we had our two different POV characters, and we did much like Nick and Jason did, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna write the scene, you're gonna write that scene.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm working with a co-author, there is that driving for me. It's like this driving, like, I can't let them down. Like, holy crap, I have to hit my word count. I have to do the things. I have to do this because I don't want to let my friend down. So that really helps motivate me when I'm co-writing. But kind of like Kacey, when I'm in my own brain with just my lonely little half of a brain cell, because I don't know where the other half currently is. It might be with Marisa, it might be with Kacey. Nick might have stolen it. Who the fuck knows? But when it's just me and those voices in my head, like Kacey, it's because I want to get to the scene. I want to get to like what happens next with like Harper and Felix and mooing griffins, or I want to know what happens with all these different characters and the story. So it's really the story is what motivates me. But techniques that I've used, like Marisa said, co-working together on Discord when we're actually like, okay, we have chatted, we have done the things, we have been chaotic and fun, and now we're going to work. That really helps. Just looking at the screen and seeing somebody else working keeps me from reaching for my phone and getting distracted. And I've got a daily word count goal. Like, I might not hit it, and that's kind of a double-edged sword because then I feel guilty because I didn't hit it. But it helps keep me on track and keep me steady as far as like, okay, if I get more than 2K for today, awesome. That's going to make up for the days where I couldn't hit it for life, children, day job. Yeah. Whatever.
Girl, Chris Kennedy and I just wrote, because it's related, just wrote our 4HU novel that, Nick's story will be driving home in a few short months, Nick. But so we were doing that, and we like Chris and I wrote 2 novels together in 6 weeks a couple years ago. This was not that. We thought we're gonna do it, like we are so efficient. Chris was like, we'll be done in like 2 weeks, and I was like, totes. No, I mean it took like four, still not bad to turn around.
No, it was not a long time.
No, it was still pretty quick, but it was a very like, I felt so obligated to get word counts because he was pushing so hard to get his word counts, and life was just like, F you both. Like it was just making it real tricky to get. But there would be a couple of times that I was like, okay, I've just been getting like 2,000 words, which is good, you guys. 2,000 words a day is great. And then I'd be like, but Chris is like 10K ahead of me. So I'm like, we are sitting here until it is 5K. And usually that does not work for me because I have a very oppositionally defiant brain. I know it's a mystery I've just revealed on the internet, but when somebody else is relying on me, that's different. It's a different pressure of like, I have to get this to you. Where like, if it's something like, oh, I set myself this goal to be done in these 2 weeks, but the deadline is actually over here. So I don't have to catch up on the words. I'm doing fine. But when it's somebody else involved, I'm like, so anyway, the horrors persist, but so do we, is my takeaway.
Right.
Sorry, Kacey.
Yeah. One of the techniques I learned from Sarah Cannon, who I'm obligated to mention on every video that we ever mention ever. Yeah. One of the things I learned from her is, she used to do this for NaNoWriMo. Now she does it for her Rough Draft Challenge, where she's like, all right, sit down and look at your calendar, like look at your month. And, whatever your goal is, whether it's the classic goal of 50,000 words in a month, or, I want to finish a novel in 3 months, whatever it is, but look at your calendar and be realistic and be like, okay, if Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving holiday, if you've got family coming into town and you're cooking a turkey and 3 pies and, 4 sides, chances are you're probably not going to get 1,600 words that day. So just go ahead and cross that day off, right? Take a look at the time frame that you have to write whatever your overall word count project goal is. Cross off the days that you're not going to write. Cross off a few extra days for buffers for things like, I don't know, I have cramps really bad and I'm not leaving my bed, or, I have a migraine, or, I get stuck at work, or
I'd like to leave my house today.
whatever it is, but add some buffer days, and the buffer days are so freaking key. And then take the total amount of writing days, and then divide your total word count by that number of writing days and get a daily word count. And then step 2 is get ahead early. That was something, that she didn't necessarily say, but I have found has been every time that I've met one of those like word count challenge goals, whether it be NaNoWriMo or the Rough Draft Challenge or something like that. The key to my success has always been I get ahead early. And then like when days come and I don't get as much, it's like, all right, well, I had a 5,000 word cushion. I'm solid, man. My curve is above the par line. So that's awesome. That's just a brain hack for me that, probably if we unpack that, we'll find, some some real interesting psychology.
No follow-up questions. No, because getting ahead, that momentum is amazing. But for me, because it's the urgency of the deadline, it's always like, oh, I'm behind, but I know that bitch. She'll catch up at the end. Like, just waiting.
And you do. I am not that bitch though.
No, that's fair. It's fair. It's like, be careful the story you tell your brain, because my brain 100% is like, oh, you write novel in 5 weeks? You don't need more time. You're done. You can just wait till 5 weeks. No, brain. No, we can't, because then I didn't write for 3 fucking months afterwards. But
you fry yourself.
Yeah, that was rough.
So I used to, but lately in the past few years, I don't really focus on the word count. So I like to write the scene.
Yeah.
So I'll go into it and be like, I want to write this scene today. Like, I don't care like the word count or whatever. And historically, I average anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 when I sit down to write. The last 10 months have been very different. I had a lot going on. I'm lucky if I get 2,000, but I try not to focus on that. I try, like I said, I'm trying to focus on the scene. And if you're focused on the scene and you're like, okay, and I want this to happen next, and then this, and then this, and then you write that entire scene, and then you look down and holy shit, I wrote 4,000 words, and it didn't, because if you're number crunching the whole time, it feels like work, right?
Yeah.
Instead, you're in your brain, you're in your imagination, you're creating, you're having fun, and then that scene's done, and you feel accomplished because you wrote an entire scene, which may be 2 or 3 chapters.
Yeah.
Well,
that's great.
And it's interesting that you say that, because that's how I wrote Shadow Card Guardian, because I initially wrote it to be serialized. And so I knew from working with John Stovall that like kind of the optimum length of a chapter, which, for me, each chapter was a scene in Shadow Card Guardian, but the optimal length of a chapter on Royal Road is somewhere between 1,700 words and 2,200 words. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, that's a decent daily output. I can do a scene do a scene a day, right? And that's what a lot of people who write consistently, like continuously on Royal Road, that's their goal, is they write a scene. Some of them they write the scene and then they immediately upload it to the internet and everyone to read it, which it takes a lot of balls. I'll be honest with you. That's that's why I say sometimes people kind of crowdsource editing on Royal Road, which is fascinating to me. I didn't do it that way. I wanted the whole thing done before I started uploading. But thinking about it in terms of scenes really was helpful. I think for me, I just have to, sometimes I have to focus on the word count and sometimes I have to focus on the scene count. It just depends on where my brain is at that day. So
I think I do it that way too, because when you transition from scene to scene, and I don't look at, when I write, I don't look at it like a book. I still, to this day, like I was saying about earlier about fight scenes, I look at things in a cinematic view, right? Like, how would a movie transition from this scene to the next scene? Like what abrupt ending that makes you want the next scene or the next part of that. Like, so they turn the page, right? Because you're going to keep watching the movie. The screen goes blank. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Intermission. Oh, well, I'm going to be here when we get back, motherfucker.
Yeah. Always be Clifford. Well, and then the other thing that I would do is that I would write.
Always be Clifford?
Always be Clifford. Always be Cliffhanger.
Yes, that's new motto.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got that from Shammy
Clifford, the big red dog.
I love it. And yes, that sounds like Shammy. That's brilliant.
Always be
oh my God. I kind of feel like we should change the title of this Feral Ladies episode to that. That's amazing.
And just end it like right here.
Yeah. No, that'd be hilarious. No, but just like Feral Ladies. I love it. Sorry, keep going.
The other thing that I would do is, so I would write the scene, I would end on the cliffhanger or the cymbal crash or whatever, and then I would write the first sentence of the next scene before I would be done for the day, so that I could get back into it. Because that's the other thing about my writing process that I think I've talked about on here before is I cycle write, right? So before I write any new words, I go back and read what I wrote during the last writing session, and I'll do like minor edits even, and then that puts me back into the right voice, the right mind frame, and then I go on from there.
So, I do that too. It's real helpful for me.
Yeah, and then by the end of it, your rough draft is actually fairly clean because you've been through it a billion times.
Yep.
I used to read everything I had written before I wrote the next scene. Like, that's how my dad does. He'll read his entire book again before he writes again. I used to do that when I was first. Then one day I was like, I'm not reading all that shit again.
It's long now.
Like the last day.
I might read the last 3 paragraphs I wrote and edit those to get into writer brain and then fucking keep going. But I'm not reading all that all over again.
You can't. There's
no
time.
Like when you hear people about how they do, they write 3 drafts of their novel, I'm like, why? Just edit the one you wrote.
Entirely new drafts?
I think so. That's how I took it. They have it on one screen and then they're writing it again, fixing it as they're going. I'm like, just copy you.
So sometimes
if it works for you, cool. But
if it works for you, sure.
It's a lot of work.
Sometimes I've been thinking about this too, because I am such a plotter and I am such a dedicated outliner. For Blood on the Sand, I have too many blood titles. I'm sorry, you guys.
We're not
I'm really obsessed with it. For Blood on the Sand, it sort of inadvertently wrote the outline, then rewrote the outline, and then rewrote the outline again. It just sort of worked out that way. And the reason was I initially plotted it right after I finished and turned in the final draft of Mage Light with all the edits and everything like that, because the story was fresh in my head. I knew what I wanted. So I plotted it out and I had it, and then I put it away and worked on other projects. And then when it came time to start it up again, I took the outline that I had and I transferred it, that was on paper, and then I transferred it into Scrivener. And as I did so, I rewrote it basically and fleshed out some of the things that, that were on paper as just basically beats, or, they go to the city and they, meet this person. Well, I fleshed out more about who they were meeting or why they were meeting or, whatever. Yes. And then when Baines sold the audiobook rights to Podium. Podium wanted an outline of it. And so I took those, what I had in Scrivener, and I like rewrote it again into a document that I could send.
Else. Yeah.
Right. And as I did so, I further refined it. And so then I ended up going back into Scrivener and making minor changes too. But what that effectively showed me is that, because by the time, but then after, iteration 3 of the outline, it became easier for me to keep going and not get stuck, because I knew, like, I had thought through it multiple times and I knew where the twists were, and I'd gone back and put in, hung all the Chekhov's guns on the wall in the early chapters, because I thought through everything already. Yeah. And so I think sometimes people do something like that, especially if they do like a 0 draft that's their outline, where it's just like, Melissa's chaotic notes, where it's like, this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And so I've seen people do like rewrites in that sense, and that my brain sort of understands that, but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but I think I do that with outlines more than I do with drafts.
That's fair. I get to the point, if I read my draft too many times, I get to a point where I hate it. And like everything in this is garbage. All of these sentences are trash. I don't even like these characters. And that's when it's like, I need to pause and step away. Because
it's worse.
Yeah, I know those things aren't true, but I will make it bad.
Yeah. I can't read my own stuff because my brain skips words because I know what it says.
Oh, yeah.
I don't read it. My brain automatically knows what the next 6 words are, and I skip without realizing it, and I don't catch things. So that's why I listen to it.
I was going to say, you have it read to you when you're doing your editing, right?
Yeah. I sit back. So I usually put on my headphones, and then Microsoft Word has actually a really decent read aloud option, and it sounds like a person. So I'll use that, and I'll sit back and close my eyes and listen to it. And when something sounds weird or chunky or should be 2 sentences or whatever, I'll pause it, go back and rewrite that, and then sit back and listen again. I don't even look at the screen. I just listen.
Nice.
No, I wish my brain could do that. It's white noise to me.
Yeah.
I can do it when Kacey and I have read it to each other before. And it'll usually be like, Kacey will read, because when we did it, she was like on alert, so she could get pulled away at any second. So her job was to read it out loud, and my job was to be like, oh, fuck, I said necessary 16 times in this sentence. Like, it's like, fix it as we go. Yeah.
How many times did I use this word? Oh my God.
A lot.
Yeah, I forgot about doing that in the alert facility.
I just remember, you're like, okay. Then I could pay attention because it's Kacey, and also I had to pay attention in case she had to leave all of the sudden. Like,
which happened once, didn't it? Didn't I get? I was like, okay, bye.
Short stories are great like that, though, because so like the shorts I wrote with Melissa and Girl Kacey and all that, like, they're short enough I can listen to the entire story on my way to work.
Nice.
Think about it all day long. Listen to it again on the way home.
Oh, nice.
And then get home and fix everything that I caught.
Yeah.
Because they're, 10,000 words or less. That's a 40-45 minute listen. It's not a big deal because I listen on full speed. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Were you going to say something, Melissa? I'm sorry. I feel like we were all excited a second ago.
We were. What was I? Yes, it was like, okay, so going all the way back to the outlining and everything, like, I feel like Nick and Kacey like are really good examples of the opposite ends of the spectrum as far as like how people can write. Kacey is a diehard plotter and an outliner, and Nick's like chaos. Whereas I like having that, like Marisa, I like having, like, I know what the end is going to be. I like having, I use Kevin Eikenberry's 7-point story structure. I love that method because it really helps my brain figure out, like, okay, I want to hit these major points. And then when I'm doing chaos notes, I have a whole separate document where I'm like, I just dash here and then, okay, cool, this scene happens. Or, oh, the characters are talking to me. Cool, I need to write this down before I forget. I have literally run away from my husband in the middle of the conversation, like, hold on, I have a griffin talking in my head, and he's, bless him, to this point, he's just like, go down. And then I'll take those 2 documents when I'm actually ready to start writing the novel, and I'll be like, all right, I have all of these chaos notes in no particular order or like any sense of organization. And I'll be like, where does this scene go? Oh, it goes here. And then I will start building like a fleshed out outline that I would never have been able to come up with from the beginning, just because like I took the time to let my subconscious chew away at it and go, ooh, I could do this and I could do that.
Yeah.
And like unlike Nick, I can't listen to the story. Like it's just in one ear and out the other. But what I can do is I can listen to music that I have assigned in my brain to this particular scene or story or character.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've done that, it can belong to no other character in any other story. It is Harper's now, or it is Kaylee's. Like I can't undo it.
Yeah.
So careful. But I'll listen to that on my way to and from work, and helps my brain chew through that story.
Yeah. For Blood on the Sand, I had a whole playlist. I called it Villain Era, but I'm going to rename it, I think, because it's a publicly available playlist. So I may just put a link in the manuscript so people can go and listen to the epic cinematic songs that were playing during the arena battles of this. Yeah.
Yes.
Alert, there's arena battles.
Yeah. I was like,
with the title like Blood on the Sand, there better be.
I would hope. Yeah. I was like, that's not really a spoiler.
I'm almost there.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. To the arena battles. Yeah. Nick's reading my draft right now.
I'm almost.
Which, do you mind talking about that a little bit, Nick? Because I don't think I'm the only one of us who utilizes your guidance. for trying to create more realistic or more believable dude characters. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, what is it
like to read a male character written by a woman? Like, what kinds of things do you look out for?
Yeah, or thinking about Mage Light, because you gave some really helpful feedback.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I won't talk about Blood on the Sand because that'll be okay. But I'll talk about the other one. Like, so it was the one thing I gave you was there was a group of men in armed forces, right? And they did not like each other. None of them liked each other. And then originally, they were having like full conversations with each other. And it's like, I mean, it's not written poorly, but guys who don't like each other, we don't conversate very long. Like, we're not going to be like, buddy, but we're also not going to be, especially if he's my superior, right? I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm going to give him exactly what he needs and as few words as possible without being disrespectful. And then I'm going to go. And it's just short and sweet, just like that.
Yeah.
And it's just,
which was great because I remember getting that feedback from you. And I mean, you guys on the internet, that I spent 23 years in the military, surrounded by military dudes. And he wrote me that feedback. And I was like, oh, of fucking course. I've seen that happen day in and day out, because I mean, not everybody likes everybody. Right. And I recognized the behavior, but it was something that I didn't immediately, I don't know. I mean, call me sexist, but my female brain didn't immediately put those things together, because my methods of sort of conflict resolution and dealing with people that I don't like are not the same because I'm just not a dude. But the minute Nick put that in his feedback, I was like, oh, he's so right, But I couldn't see it until he pointed it out.
Yeah, with most of us, less is more.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a really good point. That I mean, we've talked about it before, but holy crap, being able to like have other author friends whose feedback that you trust and that you utilize for different aspects of your writing is so powerful. Like Kacey was saying, Nick's feedback on the dudes in the story is and fight scenes is always amazing. And boy, Kacey, like I've literally sent him things and been like, look, I know you have no time right now. If you could just read through my bullshit tactics and tell me if it actually works, that would be amazing. Because he's so good at military tactics and he's done the research and everything. So it's really not. For example, yesterday, 2 days ago, I was like, Kacey, my love, queen of the gut punch, please help me make this scene so much worse than it already is, because it almost made Jason Cordova cry, but not quite. And I really just need to I'm not even going to repeat what he said because it's retarded, but like being able to utilize that, like, Marisa, what does this character say here? Like, queen of the snarky banter, help me.
Yeah.
I really hope. Like,
yeah.
Having those resources, y'all, is just damn weird.
It's the same thing for me. Like when I write a female point of view, right? I have literally sent all of you a note in my shit that says, "Girl, this shit up. I don't know what I'm doing."
Yes.
Girl this shit up. Yeah.
You know,
legit.
this needs estrogen, please.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how you. I don't think anybody knows how you think, but here, help.
Well, and it's really no different than when people send me shit, you know, about like helicopters and be like, "Hey, can you make this not suck?
Yeah.
You know, can you tell me what
Helicopter this?
Yeah, can you make this like somewhat realistic for helicopters and stuff, or how would a helicopter, you know, how would this work with real helicopters?" And it's so that's one of the reasons, like, you know, I've been to conventions and not so much conventions as like writing conferences, you know, professional development things where people are like, well, I just don't really have an area of expertise. Well, but you do, though. You are an expert in your life, right? So all the things that you've done, you're the only person who's done those things, right? Yeah. So, you know, you grew up where you grew up. You know a lot about that. You grew up in the kind of family you grew up in. You know a lot about that. You know, have been through the educational experiences that you've been through. You know a lot about that. Like, so the hobbies that you do that you think are no big deal, like, you know a lot about those things, and all of those things can be fodder for stories, you know. So
the beauty of either so in co-writing, you've got somebody who is as deeply immersed in your story as you are, to be like, hey, we got to do something. Like, it's not working. What isn't working? How do we untangle it? But it's also, exactly to Melissa's point, it is so nice to have yahoos like these in your circle where you can send it. Like, I know Nick and I have done this. We both did this with our 4-H books. But like, something isn't working here. Like, I keep getting stuck. What is it? And even if, like, when he sent the book to me and I wrote back, he's like, I don't know if I fully agree with these things, but it helped get his brain going back at what he needed. Like, it wasn't, I wasn't necessarily right. What wasn't working, but it was enough that his brain was like, oh, fuck, no, it's this. Like, it's
the one criticism you gave me was right on point. And I'm like, you know what? That is way too early. She's right. So I moved all that stuff several chapters back.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like we get stuck in our brain and like we know something's not right in the story. And that's usually for me where writer's block comes from, is something has gone wrong in the story. And that's why it's beautiful when you have a co-author who's right there with you, who can be like, oh, I fixed this. And now you're like, oh, I can write again. And when it's your own brain, to have friends whose opinion you trust, who can say like, oh, is it this? Maybe it's this. And then eventually you're like, oh, or sometimes
it's like the hose gets kinked.
Something you got to untangle. And sometimes just, you know, your character pops up in your head and they're like, hey, dummy, I wouldn't do that. I would do this. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think that's the best thing, like the four of us and Jason Cordova included, like, we know that none of us are going to pull punches with each other. Like, we're comfortable enough, you know, in professional, you know, and we're all good friends. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to hurt your feelings. If this doesn't work, I know you guys are going to tell me it doesn't work, and more importantly, why it doesn't work and how I might be able to fix it. Now, I might not take your suggestion on how to fix it, but it will at least give me, well, she's saying this. What if I do that? Oh, okay, that'll work too. And then I fix the problem.
Yeah. There is a writing advice that floats around the internet. I'm sure it has a source, so thanks, whoever you are. But it's basically like, when somebody tells you, like, in the early stages, please do not, if a book is published, please, you don't need to reach out and be like, this is what doesn't work. Like, okay, there's nothing we can do about it at that point.
Right.
But if you were at the alpha, it's out, it's done. If we are at the alpha or the beta stages, that's why we're sending that out, right? And so to be like, hey, if something doesn't work, if a reader tells you something doesn't work, they're almost always right. If they tell you how to fix it, they're almost always wrong, because it's your story, right? And so usually, like, I just very recently sent Melissa a shit ton of notes on her sequel to Griffins, and they were mostly unhinged, and I warned her that would be the case.
The cackles I have cackled have been amazing.
Fully unhinged. But even in the places where I was like, hey, and I did this with Kacey's sequel recently too, and this is what I did with Nick when he sent me the book. I was like, hey, here's what I think you could do here, or here's what I think you're going for, or here's what I think. But like, your fucking book. Like,
it's your story.
Like, this is not, I don't know that I have this voice, or I don't know that I have this thing, but like, something in here could, knowing your strengths, could be better. Like, like, Kacey, I'm just going to warn you all. the end of Blood on the Sand is like, fuck yes. So I got to the end and I was like, hell yes, hell yes, hell yes. And also, please make this even more hell yes somehow. And here's like 2 ideas. But like, obviously it's on her to decide if she wants to or not. But it's like, Kacey punches you in the gut. Like we say queen of the gut punch for a reason. And so you get to that part. And because it's like alpha beta reading, right? Like there's time to fix it. Or not fix because it's not broken. Or to be like, hey,
punch it up.
Shine it up.
Do you want to get punched in the gut 17 times? Okay. Because you're
yes.
Yeah. 3 is not enough or whatever it is. But like, that's super fun. So yes, I think it's so important to get that advice from each other and also know that like, just because somebody suggests this one fix that might not be the fix, but that is an area to look at to decide what the fix is.
Like I might not agree with what you want me to do, but I'm taking notes anyways because it clearly caught you as it needs to be punched up more, or it needs to be tweaked a little bit because it doesn't quite work as is, and that's the great thing of a draft. We've said a million times, it just has to exist. This is the time where you take feedback. You don't get, my trash, leave my trash alone. You can still do that, but like, okay, then set that aside and go, okay, how can I fix this my way? Or how can I make it like hit harder?
And I've got a perfect example of that in that one scene that Melissa asked me for advice on, right? So what we did is we were on Discord. I pulled up the Word document and just because it was like the easiest way for me to communicate with her, the techniques that I would use if I were writing it. I wasn't trying to rewrite her scene.
Nope.
But what I did was she could see where I went in and edited what she had. And one of the techniques that I used was there was a place where I was like, okay, this dialogue here, if you break these fragments out into their own paragraphs. She ended up not using that specific advice in that place. But she did the exact same thing at a later point in the scene. And so I was able to give her a technique that she used, but she decided that it was more impactful to use it in a different spot. Does that make sense? So that's like the perfect kind of synergy that you can get when you have these types of like writer communities, which I feel like, honestly, now that we're here an hour in, this is the theme of this episode is, have your writer community, build your writer community. And I know, I think sometimes, I know we're not trying to just talk to writers, on this channel. This is a channel for readers and fans as well. But there is some universality to this whole idea of like, look, everybody needs community. And everyone knows that, I think, or a lot of people know that, but there's always the question of, okay, great. Where do I go to find it? Where do I go to find this community? Like, how do I find people who are interested in the same things that I'm interested in? How do I find people that I can trust to show my trash to, right? Like, how do I do that? And, like I said, we're an hour in, so we're probably not going to answer that question right now, but that's definitely something that, an ongoing conversation that I think we need to have.
Well, and I think it's yes, I fully agree. And I guess we have to wrap up soon, but here we are. But it's also like, don't assume that it's going to be a certain kind of person in your writer community. It's really like who is matching your energy, right? Yeah. And that energy can be it can be brain twin energy. It can be chaotic, feral, wild energy. It can be little brother energy. It can be real annoying big sister energy. Like, it can be something, but like that energy has to match. So don't go in thinking like, I need to find the E4 mafia, or I need to find somebody who is a track star. Like, you don't know yet, right? Like, find people whose energy matches yours. That's going to be the biggest level up.
Friends first. Author shit second. Like, right? Yeah. Like,
prioritize the friendship.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when we all have our chat together outside of all, we don't really talk writing a ton. We do, but we don't. You know what I mean? Mostly it's just me fucking with you guys. So
sending us fun memes.
Yes. The title has changed several times, but I feel like its current title is pretty great.
It's a very accurate. It's very What was that? Was the day I was me and you were going back and forth on the title, just talking.
Yeah.
Nick just kept changing the title, and I was like, absolutely the fuck not.
And then you changed it to that, and I'm like, or maybe it was I think it was Marisa. She changed it, and I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. I'm leaving it.
Yeah. So for the internet, the current title is Nick's Nonsense with his twin and older sisters.
Very accurate.
It's pretty good. And it's also perfect because there's so many chats, right? Like there's so many various chats. So whenever I see like Nick's Nonsense pop, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Click.
That's literally all you see when it pops up on your phone. Yes. Nick's Nonsense.
Nick's Nonsense.
That's it. Nick, that is the title of your future podcast. I need you to do a podcast titled Nick's Nonsense.
Nick's Nonsense. Yes,
Nick's
that'd be
Nonsense.
amazing.
I like it.
I would love to come on and talk about nonsense with you.
Please do that.
Amazing.
I need to do something. So yeah, that actually might work. Hell yeah.
Here we go. I will take my payment in nickels.
I'll give you all the nickels.
This is great. Not in a sock. Thank you so much.
Nick's nickels. They only come in your socks.
I know, right? You swing around. Absolutely not. All right. So we are at a little over an hour. I knew we were gonna have too much fun and chaotically jump around. So welcome into a sneak peek of our group chat.
Yeah.
Yes. That was fun. That's kind of what Feral Lady guests are, I think. It's like, welcome to our...
It's an extension of the group chat.
We're taking the group chat out of the group chat, but not into trouble.
Yeah.
Although we have trouble. Anyway.
Access denied.
In the future, correct. In the future, where should people find you, your projects, and what is something that recently came out or is coming out soon that you want people to know about?
Find me on the internet, I guess. Facebook, all the things on the internet. I am there. NickSteverson.com. I don't go both ways like Marisa and Melissa, so I don't have a net. But and then
I don't have a net.
So much to unpack.
Just have a hook. Fine.
I go both ways because I have a net.
Most
I'm not sure if I'm. Is it a safety net? Like
no follow-up questions. No follow-up questions. We're just gonna
hedging those bets. Hedging those bets.
Nets is how they caught their husbands. Okay.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, they locked it down. That's for sure.
Yeah, poor Dan. I feel bad for him. Anyway,
so he's happy. I don't think you got to worry about him.
No.
The most recent thing is Dancing with Destruction. I wrote with the awesome twin Melissa Olthoff.
I don't even know.
And then me and Jason wrote Salvage Purgatory, followed up by Salvage Harbinger. Both are awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody lives.
So cheerful.
It's very cozy.
Uplifting.
You can get a
inspirational.
You get a Chianti and some fava beans and sit by the fire.
You'll see some good action in those books.
And yeah, I cried like a little bitch. So yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. Yeah. Very sweet.
Very sweet, loving.
Did y'all catch
story.
the
Hannibal Lecter reference?
Yeah.
Yes, I caught it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel
absolutely,
like
I caught it.
That's going to be more applicable to an upcoming book of yours, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
So it was more applicable to the short story, but that got a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was dark.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was so dark.
It's very dark.
Very proud of that.
Yeah. Not our short story, to be clear.
I made Melissa. All I'm saying, I made Melissa drink, and then I made her read it again.
And then I had to drink again.
Wow.
Like, holy crap. Anyways, so you guys can find me at melissaolthoff.com or .net. So you can find me on all the socials because that's how we do these days. I will be an attending pro for the first year ever at Dragon Con in Time Math Days, which we're not going to do right now because holy crap, panic.
Like 30.
And I think that's my last con for the year. I just had my first Fate novel come out, Rise from Ruin. It came out awesome. It's so cool. And I just finished the draft and I'm editing the sequel. So
yay. So excited. I'm Kacey Ezel. You can find me at caseyezel.net or .com. Not because I go both ways, but because I own them both.
Going both ways.
I own them both. And let's see. My most recent release was also Dancing with Destruction, short story there. My most recent novel release was Mage Light, which is one of the ones that the amazing Nick Steverson consulted with me on Guyhood and Guidem. Oh, thanks, guys. I just finished the sequel to that, so that'll be coming out sometime next year. And you can also find me at DragonCon. I will be an attending pro. And I am on all the socials. Right now, I'm focusing a lot on trying to build my TikToks, my tics and my talks. So I've got author Kacey Zell, and then just my personal account, Kacey Zell, over there. So come see my little videos and, do the things there. Also Instagram, Facebook, X, my website. You can join my community. Be my friend.
AOL.com.
Just be my friend. Yeah, that's all I want. I just want you guys to be my friends.
Cool. I am Marisa Wolf, marisawolf.net, marisawolf.com. I do go both ways. There's apparently a net involved. I didn't know I had props, but here we are.
We don't kink shame.
We're not here to kink shame. So yeah.
Nope.
This is, except for language, rated PG. So no further questions. The follow-up. I think Dancing with Destruction was also my latest release, as it includes my very first collaboration with this guy you may have heard of, David Weber.
Yeah.
Just a grandmaster.
Woo, indeed.
Fun.
Right.
It's amazing. It was a super fun story. He's super fun to work with. Speaking of co-writing. And also, Melissa is ready. So coming out September 2nd is
so excited.
My very first fantasy novel, A Plague of Magic. It comes out September 2nd. But if you are going to DragonCon, as several of us are, where I will also be on panels being shenanigan-y, I hear these books will be available, allegedly. I really hope that's true, because otherwise I've been telling you all on the internet.
You've been telling the internet.
I was told that's true, but we'll see. So yeah, Tiny Angry Dragon, which I also will have stickers, so we can talk about that later. I think that's our whole story for now. Keep an eye out. Oh no, I lied to everybody just now. My most recent release was 2 days ago.
Yep.
I don't have it because it just came out 2 days ago. Shades of the Past. Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
the one with Chris Kennedy that you guys wrote in 4 weeks.
That you literally talked about recently.
Well, at least I did talk about it on the call. So,
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. That's accurate. Yeah. It's super fun. And as you should know that the tagline, according to one of the point of view characters in that book, is, why is it always tentacles?
Always.
So if you want to know the answer to that question, pick up Shades of the Past.
Yeah.
It's the 100th 4HU book.
That's pretty awesome.
100th. Yeah.
That is awesome.
So there's something else that also came out on Friday at the same time as Shades of the Past.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's also with that David Weber guy. I don't know if y'all have heard of him. He's kind of new. But the e-arc for Challenges, the Honor Harrington Universe Anthology, that's going to be out in
November.
The e-arc is now live on Vane.com. So if you want to know how Marisa made me cry again, then you can read her story in that anthology, and it is brilliant.
Thank you.
It's really good.
Thanks.
It's really good.
Yeah, you can,
and it will make you cry.
Also, I am terrible at my shit over here, guys. Really good at pumping up everyone else. Here we are. I also have a free short story on Bane.com.
Oh, that's right. That's happening right now.
Right now, it's out right now. It's called Undercurrents. It happens just before the events of A Plague of Magic. So you
has
can
my
get a
favorite character in it.
Imagine having all the things and forgetting all of them.
Forgetting all of them.
All the things.
Is that not my brain though?
That's accurate.
You guys, we are moving into the era of Marisa. So buckle the fuck up, because here we go.
Right.
Sure. Yes. So join us here every week. Every week there will either be a new episode of Feral Ladies or a classic episode from the last year of Feral Ladies. So every week, because this channel is new. So if you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe. If you enjoyed yourself even a little bit, I mean, you're still here. So go ahead and click that thumbs up. we hope to see you soon as we invite you into more and more of our group chats. Please to join with us. You're welcome. We'll have fun. And keep an eye out later this year for Heads Will Roll from Nick Steverson.
Yeah. Now I have that song in my head and I'm super excited about it.
Okay, that's all. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hold on. No, I have to go find the button. So
yeah, I hit the button 6 times.
What was it? Ended on a